Deion Sanders' 40 time, explained, inside the legend behind primetime and the 1989 NFL Combine. NFL Combine coverage was different in 1989. The NFL Network did not exist. It was not an event that dominated the sports news cycle, and most of the performances are remembered through storytelling. The story of Deion Sanders' 40-yard dash at the 1989 NFL Combine at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis has many variations, but the legend is this: did Deion Sanders run the 40-yard dash at NFL Combine then immediately leave? Sanders told that story on a NFL Network feature, which will no doubt be unearthed this week. That story will be shared at the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine. After all, Sanders' son Shedeur will be in the conversation for the number 1 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Shedeur Sanders will not throw at the NFL Combine. Will he run the 40? Sanders was a 3-sport star at Florida State in football, baseball and track, but football was his best sport. He was a 2-time consensus All-American and won the 1988 Thorpe Award. Sanders had 14 career interceptions and 3 pick-sixes, and also compiled 1,429 punt return yards and scored 3 TDs. I was a shutdown cornerback before the name was even given, Sanders said. Then, I gave you a bonus on 4th down you couldn't even quantify. I was a guy who was going to put butts in seats. Asa result, Sanders, who arrived 3 years after 2-sport star Bo Jackson was the number 1 pick in the 1986 NFL Draft, created buzz heading into the 1989 NFL Draft. As the legend goes, Sanders arrived at the 1989 NFL Draft in a limousine wearing a business suit, then told the limo driver, "Hey, I'll be right back." That part of the story is true. What about the rest? I was going to the Combine to prove everything you heard was true, Sanders said on NFL Network. What was Deion Sanders' 40-yard dash time? Charlie Casserly was the general manager for Washington in 1989. On the NFL Now feature, he said players who were expected to be high draft picks would often pass on running the 40-yard dash at the Combine. There was no doubt I was going to run the 40 and break the record, Sanders said. That's all I came for. Sanders claimed he did not stretch before running the 40. He crossed the finish line and said, "Say it," to a silenced RCA Dome. Casserly still has the paper with the official times from the 1989 NFL Combine. There are 4 times listed for Sanders' 40-yard dash taken by 4 stopwatches. Those times were 4.27, 4.27, 4.29, and 4.33. Sanders' 40 time is 4.27. The NFL implemented electronic timing in 1999. A total of 12 other players have a time of 4.27 or faster, including Kansas City receiver Xavier Worthy, who set the record with a 4.21 in the 40-yard dash last season. It would be interesting to know how fast Sanders' time would be with modern technology. Deion ran the 40, was out the door and waved goodbye, Casserly said. He was out the door. Did Deion Sanders leave the NFL Combine after running 40-yard dash? Sanders, however, was not quite finished. He did leave the NFL Combine after running the 40-yard dash, but he did not get on a private jet right away. I just grabbed my bags, went back to the hotel, conducted a few more interviews and went on my merry way, Sanders said on the NFL Network. Was Deion Sanders the number 1 pick of 1989 NFL Draft? Sanders was selected with the number 5 pick in the 1989 NFL Draft by the Atlanta Falcons. It's arguably the greatest first 5 picks in NFL Draft history. Troy Aikman, Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, and Deion Sanders all made the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Aikman won 3 Super Bowls with Dallas. Thomas had 126.5 career sacks, and Barry Sanders rushed for 15,269 yards and 99 TDs. Deion Sanders won 2 Super Bowls. He had 53 career interceptions and 9 interception returns for TDs. He also had a fumble recovery for a TD, 3 receiving TDs, 6 punt return TDs and 3 kickoff returns for TDs. Primetime was one of the most exciting players in NFL history. Sanders has 2 sons who will be eligible for the 2025 NFL Draft. Shedeur Sanders, a quarterback who was a projected first-round pick, will participate in interviews but will not throw at the NFL Scouting Combine. Shiloh Sanders, who had 67 tackles for Colorado last season, was not invited to the NFL Combine. It would not be a surprise if Deion Sanders does attend the NFL Combine, however, given he is a former analyst for the NFL Network. If he does resurface in Indianapolis, then that legendary story about his 40-yard dash will surely be revisited.